The third right turn is not what you expect. It is to think inside the box. I have another passion aside from innovation, ballet. And I pursued both with my move to Calgary. I love the ballet world because it is the exact opposite of the corporate world. We never talk about budgets or profits. We talk about creativity, artistry. But there is a lot to learn from this extremely creative world. I read that Steve Jobs ran Apple like a theater company. His presentations and ad campaigns were always dramatic, and there was always a story. It's the same with the world of dance. Twyla Tharp is a multi-awarded dancer and choreographer. There is a lot she talks about in her book about how to cultivate creativity. But my favorite one was to think inside the box. And what she recounts is that the most daunting task in the creative process is the beginning, the blank sheet of paper or the blank canvas, the empty studio. But eventually, an idea will come to you. Twyla says the first thing you should do is write your ideas down on paper. See how they flow and do they make sense. By doing this, you organize your thoughts and create a beginning. Writing it down is also necessary to visualize and eventually to share the idea with the rest of your team. So what is thinking inside the box? Well, Twyla Tharp says that in her discipline process, she always starts by writing her ideas down and then putting them in a physical box. As she moves along, say creating a ballet or a dance performance, she then starts to collect other ideas for music, costumes, colors, lighting, etc. And she always puts all that in a box. If she gets the funding for the project or the show, and it goes live for many years, the box is significant to her because in it, she has the beginnings. Sometimes, however, you don't get funding for the project, and she just closes the box and keeps it in storage. One day in the future, when the timing is right, she can pull out that box and won't have to start from scratch. Don't believe her? Let me tell you about the famous Russian composer Prokofiev, who wrote the score for the ballet Romeo and Juliet. He says he used to walk around and the melodies would come to him. He would begin to compose music and would just keep it. Then one day, the Russian government approved a project to create the music for Romeo and Juliet. He was able to complete the score in 3 weeks because he just pulled out what he had already created. He had a romantic tune, a tragic tune, a grand, majestic tune, and just had to put it together and create a unified score. So, what Twyla says works. But in the business world, and with innovation, you don't really have photos or swatches of material. However, you still have your ideas. And you need to create a box. I will show you today 2 simple ways to think inside your box: the business model canvas and the business plan. The business model canvas is a 1-page tool that was introduced by Alexander Osterwalder. The business canvas looks at your business model or business drivers. And even if you don't have exact figures, it enables you to see if this innovation will be profitable and make business sense. And it will enable you to make a fast and easy judgment on whether this is something you will devote your resources to. You and your team answer the different elements of the business model canvas, and in the end, you can decide if you have a viable business model. To build your business canvas, you start in the middle and answer the question on what value will you give to your customer. that you can do better than your competition. The right side of the business canvas is about revenues. Who is your target customer? How will you interact with your clients? How will you reach them? At the bottom right corner, you will look at how you will make money. It is not so much about the dollar and cents, but whether the charging mechanism is sustainable. The left side of the business canvas is all about costs. What are some activities that you need to do to get your business up and running? Who will help you? What resources do you need? At the bottom left corner, you will answer what all of this will cost. Again, it is less about dollars and cents, but whether you will spend less and earn more. The second way to think inside the box is the business plan by William Salmon of Harvard University. As he says, nothing could be further from the truth. In my experience with hundreds of entrepreneurial startups, business plans rank no higher than a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10 as a predictor of a venture's success. Most people think the business plan is the financial plan. Bill gives us a better and simpler alternative. He suggests that we look at 4 things. Number 1, the people. This is used more in the venture capital world, where investors want to know who is behind the new venture. In the early stages, the funders are investing in the people behind the idea of the innovation. Assembling a diverse team is always also required, so build a good team of people. Number 2, the opportunity. Here you write about the need or the challenge and how you will create value. Google said it would organize the world's information, and it did. And no one knew it was needed, but with the internet, Google realized how valuable it was. Number 3, the context. This is in essence a market scan. You talk about your target customer, your competition, how much is being paid today for the service if it exists, and are customers willing to pay you for your product? You cover the economy and whether you think it will create the right environment for your product to be launched and to succeed. Number 4, the risk and reward. Every venture has its risks. You need to write those down and talk with your team about how you will mitigate them. Do it early on, when you have wide open space. And then, if you are creating value, there should be a reward for the risk you're taking. How much are customers willing to pay? Will it cover your costs and risks in case something goes wrong? Yes, you make financial forecasts here, and for sure things won't happen according to plan. But, just like the GPS, if you have directions, even if you miss a turn, you can recalculate. And you will surely recalculate your business plan, and it will evolve as your project gets executed. I also want to remind you to include in your business plan your exit strategy. The best time to plan this is at the beginning, and be honest about when you want to exit and where the business will be. Many business people don't do this, and the exit plan is something that takes them by surprise. It does not have to be long, but you need to think this through and write it down. So thinking inside the box can be done with the business model canvas and the business plan. Before you proceed to the next section, please complete the self-assessment. You may want to write down your answers and keep them along with your notes.